this video, we are visiting the borough of Brooklyn in New York City to check out a Tiki Speakeasy hidden in steakhouse Gage and Tollner called Sunken Harbor Club. Please join us as we check out the space, try the food, and enjoy some of the drinks to see if this place is worth you giving a visit. Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we are in downtown Brooklyn to check out a hidden nautical themed tropical tiki bar called Sunken Harbor Club. Now Sunken Harbor Club is hidden away upstairs and it's in the back of acclaimed historic steakhouse Gage and Tollner. It was opened in October 2021 by St. John Frizzell and is helmed by, as they call it, Chief Cocktail Officer Garrett Richard. Now this is especially noteworthy because Garrett Richard is an award-winning bartender and tiki expert. In fact, he is the co-author of a book called The Tropical Standard, which is fantastic and definitely worth picking up if you like tiki-style drinks. On a side note, he was also the head bartender at one of my favorite bars, the now closed Existing Conditions, and brought some of his styles and techniques to this bar as well. So it's no wonder that this bar has been getting a lot of hype lately. However, does it live up? Well, let's head on over there and see for ourselves. But as we do, let's see what people are saying online. Well, on Yelp, they have a rating of 4.6 out of 93 reviews, and on Google, a rating of 4.7 out of 266 reviews. So those are some really good numbers. Some positives mentioned are the drinks, atmosphere, and the fun vibe. Now, while it was hard to find any negative reviews, some negatives mentioned are the prices and also some issues with the wait list. Since it seems this bar gets very busy, they mentioned being made to wait a long time only to never be seated, or slow rolling as they mention in the review here. Well, let's head on in and see for ourselves if we find the positive reviews true, the negative, or if it's a little bit of both. I have to say I love this menu. Not only does it look really cool with the Ocean Explorer theme, but it's a good size at 24 drinks. Then, still keeping with that nautical theme, it's a nice touch the way they separate it into three main sections based on strength and complexity. You have the Shallows, then next the Twilight Zone, and then finally the Abyss. I also like that despite being a tropical bar, they have a lot of variety, including many stirred options as well as drinks served up. Another aspect of the drink program I like is that they don't just have rum drinks, but use gin, whiskey, and tequila as well. So there is something for everybody, especially if you don't like rum. They even have a happy hour menu with some solid options, which is a really nice touch. Now for my first drink, I ordered the Star Cycle, and it was fantastic. It's a variation on the jasmine cocktail, but in my opinion better. The grapefruit is the star of the show. You get this beautiful fresh grapefruit flavor, then the botanicals from the gin come in, combining nicely with the florals from the jasmine, and then that slight bitterness from the Campari balances it all out. This drink was a home run. So I'm going to get some food here, and I decided to get the shrimp toast and the Spam sliders. Now normally I'm not a Spam guy, however these sliders are homemade in-house, so I had to try them. Now, as we take a look around the place, I will say that while I call it a tiki bar, it really is more of a nautical themed tropical style bar with even a pirate touch. You can see that from the wood paneling that makes it look like the inside of a ship's hull. Also from the different paintings of ships, even the main mural of a mermaid and the other little cool touches throughout the bar really indicate this. However, they do serve tiki style drinks, so that tiki style designation does fit as well. Now the comeback special is clearly an Elvis Presley inspired drink. That peanut butter flavor from the washed rye and banana are the stars of the show, but then are balanced out nicely by some fruitiness and acidity from the pineapple. Then you get a little bit of that spiciness from the rye on the back end. This is one of my favorite drinks on the menu and a home run as well. So here is our food. We have the Spam sliders here, and then over here we have the shrimp toast. Now let's check out the Spam sliders first. You can really tell that this is not normal Spam, but a step above by being made in-house. They were really nice and crispy on the outside with a slightly smoky, salty ham-like flavor. Then that saltiness was cut by the acidity of the pickled vegetables and the sauce. Really enjoyed them. Now for the shrimp toast. It had a salty taste with a little bit of sweetness. I like the jalapeno on top. What really made it was that dipping sauce though. It tied everything together. Overall, I enjoyed both dishes. Neither blew me away, however both were good solid bar food. My favorite was the Spam. I would order that again. I will say that if you're really hungry and looking for more than a snack or some finger food, then I would eat downstairs first. For my final drink, that Joy of Almond caught my eye. I have to say that while I was worried it would be a bit too sweet, it actually was much less sweet than I expected. It's definitely based off an Almond Joy candy bar, however the coconut and almond are the stars of the show with just a hint of chocolate. So if you are a chocoholic, you might be disappointed, however for me personally, I enjoyed this drink and would order it again. Perfect way to end the evening. Well, it looks like we are all finished up here, so as we head out to the subway, let's go over the positives, neutral, and negatives of this cocktail bar. For the positives, of course, at the top we have the atmosphere, drinks, menu variety and size, service, and food. Speaking about menu size, I really like that they had a nice size 24 drink menu. Now it's just my own personal pet peeve, but I really don't like the trend for these wimpy 10 drink menus I'm seeing at some cocktail bars lately. Some people try to excuse it by saying less is more. No, less is just less. That's just an excuse. Unless you're a cocktail bar that specializes in off-menu drinks or bespoke drinks. But other than that, ditch the 10 drink menu, that's just wimpy. Now for neutral, we have pre-batching the drinks and then the pricing. Now as far as pre-batching goes, this is actually normal for tiki bars. In fact, historically, they've been pre-batching since the beginning. That's why certain old recipes will say Don's mix or just say a blend of different spirits. And the reason for this wasn't just for convenience, although that was part of it because many of these recipes had so many different ingredients, but also many of these bars want to protect their recipes from being stolen and brought to other competing tiki bars, especially when a bartender left one and went to the other. The downside of this is that in modern times it can be difficult to recreate some of these older drinks. Despite this, as you can see, they still do more drinks than you would think with minimal or no batching. So not a big deal, the batching. And then for negatives, I really don't have any outright negatives. We found the positive reviews to be on par with our own experiences. As for the two negative ones, I don't agree with the reviews on pricing. I didn't find the pricing to be bad, especially for New York City. The drinks range for the most part from $18 to $20. Now, while some might find these prices steep, they are about normal, maybe leaning a little high for the area, but not bad at all. Compared to craft cocktail bars in Manhattan, they are actually good, about $4 to $6 less. So that's solid. You had a few outliers on the menu, several at 22 and one at 32. However, all of those were particularly strong, all stirred except for the Dracula Parrot at 32. However, that used green chartreuse as the base, which is really expensive right now and getting harder and harder to get a hold of. So you can understand the price. However, that still leaves about 20 drinks that are in the $18 to $20 range. Additionally, they do have a happy hour, or maybe the reviewers could just buy the Tropical Standard. It's a great book, and make the drinks at home, which would really save them some money. Now as for the wait, I usually come when they open, so I have not tested the wait list to see if their complaint is an example of a pattern or just a one-off situation. I will be visiting Gage and Tollner in the next month or so for dinner, and then putting my name on the wait list for Sunken Harbor Club after, so I guess I'll find out about the wait list situation then. So what are my final thoughts on Sunken Harbor Club? I love this bar. If you live in New York City and haven't visited it, you are missing out. This bar is in my rotation, and we have visited many times since it opened in 2021. In fact, we have covered most of the current menu, and I will show you some of these drinks as I continue here. The drink program helmed by Garrett Richard is fantastic. All the bartenders are really skilled, and they can even go off menu or make drinks from old menus. Right here, Garrett is making me a drink from an older menu called Don's Dram. It's a bit of a Sazerac variation, and it's delicious. If memory serves me correctly, they use a grapefruit cinnamon cordial, I think. This combined with the rye whiskey and that little touch of the Hamilton rum really sets this drink apart and gives the traditional Sazerac flavors a slightly fruity and tropical spin. Now, while I am not 100% sure of the ingredients, I think what I am putting up here is correct, or at least pretty close. Then right here you see one of my favorite stirred drinks on the current menu, the Donkey Konga. As long as you like banana, this is a must order. It's so good. Now, if you are a tourist visiting New York, then this place is a must visit. I can't recommend it enough. Have dinner downstairs in a historic restaurant from 1879, and then pop up here for a nightcap, or do the opposite and visit Sunken Harbor for some pre-dinner drinks, then go downstairs to Gage and Tollner for dinner. You won't be disappointed. Even if you don't like tropical drinks, they have something for everybody, and the atmosphere and vibe is amazing. This place's reputation is well deserved. Well, those are my final thoughts on Sunken Harbor Club. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let us know what you think or if you have any questions or thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please click like, subscribe, and that bell icon so you get notified of new videos. And most importantly, always drink responsibly. Thank you for watching, and please join us again on Boozy Explorers.